welcome to Samorin. We are walking towards the swim. Well, today it's possible to do the recognition of the swim course, so we are going to check it. It's a different course. It's a swim on the canal, not on the Danube, so very curious. But the water is 14 degrees, they say. I wonder if I can swim more than 1 minute in 14 degrees. That's the real challenge. Let's check the faces of those exiting the water.
Stop trying then.
It's Friday, so it's 2 days before the race. We just had the briefing, and apparently there are two options because it's very, very cold. So option one, a shortened swim, which will be 750 meters, because water temperature is 11.1 degrees, which I can confirm because I tried to swim today and I've lasted 1 minute 30 in the water. So the two options are or a short swim or a duathlon. The duathlon will probably be with a run of 5 to 7k. They still don't know where they will let us run. They were mentioning like a run on the grass along the canal, laps they were saying, which also is not ideal. But yeah, we don't know yet, so I guess final decision will always be made 1 hour before the start. I'm going to switch now the wheels. This is the Vanquish disc that I use the day before the race as a test. I put it on only for the race and the day before the race, because I prefer always training with a spare wheel the days before. And I'm always using the Jet 180, the special wheel that had made for Kona, but that's perfect also like to replace the disc, I would say, in situation where you have a lot of wind, but always to have a bit of a higher profile to get ready to the Vanquish disc. I prefer riding those, as I said, the days before the race, but the day before, then I switch to have the final check. And in the front, I will keep the Vanquish 8, which is a very fast wheel. So the combination of the Vanquish disc and the Vanquish 8 is a really fast setup. 3 times 2 minute activation, race pace 250 to 255, that's the race pace. No, it's a joke. Alright, I go. Ciao. 6 times 50 race pace, 10 seconds rest, and now some cooling down, and then we go all the way up there. Yeah, and then you turn right and then
On your mark.
With our defending champion from Spain, Sarah Perez-Sala, another 2023 Taiwan champion.
so good. I'm very happy with my swim. Finally, I felt I could deliver a good swim. As always, my start is always a nightmare. I just don't have this pickup speed, and then I could see it from the videos that I'm just like lost in 10 seconds of racing, which is reality, and it's something I'm willing to work on. But I'm really happy that at least then I could really push myself on the swim, and eventually the gap compared to the leaders, the gap was not that big or that embarrassing. So of that I'm really happy, and I think it also helped the fact that already a week before the race I swam open water. I did only open water swimming, real work, endurance work, all open water. I have this luck being here in Banyoles to that I can swim in the lake, which is a very safe environment, a beautiful lake, clean water, and I think that extra specific training helped me a lot in navigating and just pushing in open water swimming, so that's what I could see on the race. Once on the bike, I felt good, and Marjolaine, she was just with me out of transition, a little bit quicker in putting on her shoes and to keep going. So I had kind of a reference in front of me, someone to follow to try to bridge the gap, but yeah, she was really strong. I tried to push hard for 20 minutes, and eventually I came closer to Marjolaine, also thanks to Diderix, who came from the back, and she helped bridging the gap to Marjolaine, and then we formed a pack, and it was the first time that I could actually ride with a pack. And I can see that it's a big benefit in terms of also pacing, I would say, and following a little bit the dynamic, and we could come pretty close to another group in front of us, which contained like Margie Santimaria and Rebecca Clark, so we almost were together in T2, and it was a very hard ride, because when you ride flat, you have to push all the time, and Samorin is a very specific course where you never have to get off the bars, so at the end, staying in the position, error position all the time, it's really tiring, and you don't have climbs, so it means that you don't have downhills to recover, and then pushing all the time is pretty hard. So I'm really happy with my ride, and it went a lot better than my previous 2 races, except the last 10K, where I started getting really fatigued, and that's the moment where my breathing problems came back. And then we get to the run. I knew that I had to be a little bit conservative because of this breathing problem, but I tried, like the first lap, to go at a decent pace. I was running around 347 to 350, which is something that it's per kilometer, so it's something that I can normally do pretty easy, I would say, but the breathing problem was there all the time, and the moment I get this breathing problem, it feels like there's no oxygen going to my legs, and I feel exhausted. So at that point, I have to make a decision that is or walking, or or stopping, I would say, or just try to calm down, and that means running a lot slower, and that's where I started running around 4:10 for 1 lap. And it helped a little bit. I just focused on getting my nutrition in and to just cool down, because it was a very hot day at the end. So I know, like, I ran 1:24, which is okay, but it's absolutely not what I know I can do. So it's way below my capabilities, and this is really frustrating at the moment. This, I would say, is the biggest problem that I'm facing since the beginning of the season. So I'm not really happy with that. I can't be happy with that, because I see in trainings things that would definitely put me in a different position at the end of the race, but somehow I still couldn't put this performance I know I'm capable of together. And that's where, yeah, I'm now trying to understand what it can be related to these breathing problems, and hopefully I can find a solution and race at my potential.